They clown Larry Bird for being old. It was a big mistake. Yes, indeed. What have we not learned from this, okay? Look, we're about to do a reaction to this video. I'm glad to be back. Let's get right to it.
As Larry Bird played his last handful of games on the 1992 Dream Team, he got called out by some young college superstars for being old and washed up.
And I was like, Larry, your back is already hurting, man. You need to take it easy.
Hey, Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since '84.
And one last time, Larry Bird had to prove that even at his advanced age, there's a big difference between being a good player and being the greatest of all time.
Larry Bird at this point in his career is now squeezing to the end. It's a ceaseless struggle to get healthy enough to play.
Larry Bird did not play the final 7 games of the season as he decided to sit out and see if he could get his back ready for the playoffs. His back was day to day, and no one knew if he would be able to play in the series.
So this was one of his late years, back in his late years of his career, also getting ready for, the Olympics and stuff like that, right? Which, by the way, we heard stories. This man was cooking. Didn't matter. He was dealing with back issues tonight. He was cooking. Let's keep going.
I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to feel Thursday or Friday. It's just wait and see. It's a game that we're playing right now, and hopefully I'll be prepared to play every game.
I remember walking in the locker room, and I saw Larry before the game, and I said, how you feeling? I'm okay, I guess. Well, he wasn't okay. Guy could barely put his pants on.
He spent the night at the hospital in traction, so he had to be in just unbelievable pain.
I can remember when I first came in that in the league, Artis Gilmore told me one time, he played for Chicago, he said, if you expect to play a long time in this league, you better quit mopping up the floor. And I thought, well, he's crazy, because that's what basketball is all about, going after the loose balls. But getting a little bit older now and feeling the bangs and the bumps and the bruises and all that, I can see where he's coming from, but I can't change my style of play. I got to play like that every night, because if you go down and get one loose ball that's on the ground, that could be the turning point of the game. And it has.
I'm sorry.
Has been in some instances.
I want to say his mindset about that is that, as he explained it right there, is every position counts. Every position counts. And his mindset is about, it didn't matter about a diving on the ground to get the ball. And yeah, he get banged up, but there came to certain instances where he got possession of a ball because of that, which led them to having one up their opponents, which allowed them to win games, right? So this was his mentality. He was a hustle. He was a hustler. He was somebody who was willing to do the grunt work, even as an all-star. Like, you gotta remember, this guy was an all-star. I mean, he is an all-star state. Like, he's a legend, right? He didn't have to do that, but he did. Says a lot about these players back then. They really was going there hustling. Let's keep going.
Marv, the mood of the Celtics could be described as confident. In fact, this is the 10th deciding game of a playoff series Larry Bird has been involved in. By the way, the condition of his lower back injury remains the same, expecting to play about 40 minutes through pain today.
And it has come down to the 5th and deciding game between the Celtics and the Pacers. Bird off balance.
Okay.
For Larry Bird.
Okay.
Putting his shoulder down that time, actually trying to create off the dribble, which is unusual with the bad back that he has.
Bird in the open court.
Pulls up. Did that sound like old to you? Time out. Time out. Time out.
As Larry Bird carried the Celtics to a lead in the first half, while already in excruciating back pain. To make matters even worse, with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, Larry Bird took one of the nastiest falls of his career.
Larry Bird with 12, and the Celtics
Let's see.
by 7.
What's the nasty fall?
In this first half, Bird had a knocked away by Sadler.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hurt.
As Bird goes after the loose ball.
That's the one when he fractured his face, right? Right? When he broke his cheekbone, I think.
Try to save it. He does, in fact, get it, keeps it in play. but he paid for it, struggling right now to get up.
It was a thud when he hit that floor. You heard that boom. The breath went out of that building because they thought that, that was it.
What went through my mind, just hope it wasn't anything too serious. Obviously, if was something wrong with me anytime you see Larry Bird walks off the court. Something seriously got to be wrong.
Larry Bird's face hit the floor so hard that he knocked himself unconscious for a few seconds. He left the game with a concussion and had a broken bone in his face. And with the Celtics leader out of the game, Chuck Person and the Indiana Pacers smelled blood.
So this was the Indiana Pacers game that they were going against, right? And this was a very important game. And honestly, in one of the, I believe it was the montage or documentary that I had saw, I can't remember, you guys can remind me which one it was, but it was an iconic thing because when he came back, he was like, nah, I gotta finish this game for the team. We gotta win this. Came back with a concussion, a fractured, bone that was broken, came back and was killing it, right? And just when he came, you saw that look on his face, like he wasn't about to give in on some injury. And he didn't have to do that, but again, it was just his personality, it was his character. Let's keep going.
Don't think the fact that Larry Bird is in the locker room right now isn't helping the Indiana Pacers pick up their level of intensity. They smell it right now. They know the leader is not on the floor. Someone needs to step up now for Boston and take over in Larry Bird's absence.
And Chuck Person with 20 points. The first time this afternoon the Pacers have had a lead.
Well, right, Chuck Person was a real force, and there was a lot of back and forth going on.
Person for three, yes, from straight away.
And Larry bangs his head on the floor.
I know.
Bang, boom, has to leave the game. It looks like the ship's going to sink, and we're going to go home in the first round.
Person from downtown.
Yeah.
What a shot by Chuck Person, and he gets.
And y'all gotta think about this. Larry is like, he had that energy, presence, spirit to the Boston Celtics. Like, he was that spirit generating factor for Boston. Like, he was that captain. He was that guy. He was that Superman for Boston Celtics. So when you take the guy who makes very good plays, that's very selfless. He's not selfish. He knows how to score, when to partake in supporting the role in all aspects. You lose out a lot. And on top of that, like, you can think about their players just thinking about Larry Bird because he's a great player. They're probably thinking about him like, man, hopefully he's all right. They not even thinking probably too much 100% in the game. Who knows? But can't take the credit from Indiana Pacers. When they saw the opportunity, they turned up too. But let's keep going.
The treatment from the crowd as he reacted. Indiana with a 3-point lead.
And the cameras are on Larry emerging from the locker room, coming down the corridor. The cavalry is arriving. The crowd sees him. They go berserk.
And here comes
Yes. Here we go. Here we go.
By Robert Powell.
Here we go.
I got the sense the Pacers were
stunned
to see him there, and that they thought, holy what's going to happen now?
I love the duck down, getting ready to come in, focus mode. Oh my God. When I first seen it, I felt in love with Larry Bird after that. I fell in love with him. I ain't gonna lie. He made me a big fan when I seen that part. I was like, yep, say no more. Say no more. He made it to my top list. He made it to my top list. All right, let's keep going.
This time out, they have been standing and cheering since Larry Bird made his way from underneath the tunnel from the Boston locker room.
It is one of in the Bird lore, it is one of the top 5 incidents that he did that might have been the last great moment.
He went out with 4:23 remaining in the second after taking the fall.
He's like, nah.
He is back in the ball game. Reggie Miller's shot rebounded.
Goes for the rebound. Assist right off the back. Come on.
I've never met an athlete that would play with pain the way he does, and an athlete that's so highly self-motivated as Larry Bird.
Trainish 3. Yes.
People's pain threshold are different. Some guys will dislocate a finger and go ahead and play with it. Some guys can dislocate a finger and be out 6 weeks. Just, I think it's just something within your body that some guys have a good pain threshold and some don't. But to me, you know, I was just so glad I got the NBA and made it. I didn't want some little injury messing up my whole season, so I tried to play through it.
Wow.
Bird with the step on Shrep.
This guy's amazing.
When Larry returned, the Celtics went from losing by 3 points to winning by 13 points in a matter of minutes.
No! It was 13 points. I thought they were like up by like maybe 5 that they won by, but they were up by 13 points. They were losing by the time he got out from his injury. They were losing by 3 points. He came in, it instantly spiked up defense and offense. And specifically with the offense, they got up 13 points. Oh my gosh. And note when he said that he was just so glad to be in the NBA and it was his career and job that he didn't want an injury that he can temporarily sit out and after the game, but he didn't want to let it hold him right then and there in that moment. He didn't want to stop playing just because of an injury. So it just shows you how much he really wanted it and his hunger for his passion about basketball in the NBA.
I think it's really a mental thing that, you know, Larry's on the court now. Hey, now we got our leader back. We got a big option here we can go to down the stretch during the game. And he's just a big emotional enough when he's on the court, too.
Yeah. See what he just said? He also said leader, but I think he said emotional support, right?
Our leader back. We got a big option here we can go to down the stretch during the game. And he's just a big emotional enough when he's on the court, too.
See?
3-point play for Bird. Bird ahead.
Yeah.
And it's the Celtics by 13.
The fans at that point wouldn't let the team lose because of what Larry was doing.
Sanders at 6'6", giving away 3 inches to Bird.
Yes! Yes! That's what I'm talking about! Oh! I can feel the energy and the excitement, even though this is older footage. This was a long time ago. I still get hyped seeing this. It's something about the energy and the passion that's been in these games that never leaves. And I understand why y'all like seeing people experience it for the first time or just experiencing it in general and sharing these experiences because it is timeless. Wow. It's timeless. This is timeless. This is a timeless piece. This is what we call basketball art. It's timeless. Let's keep going.
The bulk of the work on the defensive boards is always looking down the floor and just gets out over the top of Reggie Miller. And he's going to lead this
right over Reggie
with a little bit of emotion, and then also by taking it strong to the basket, showing them how it's to be done.
Through all of the pain and injuries, Larry Bird came back and led this Celtics team to a victory, proving that there's a big difference between being a good player and being the greatest of all time, because today's players just aren't built like they used to be.
Mike, rarely do you see this kind of emotion from Larry Bird.
No, but Larry Bird is answering the challenge put forth to him by Chuck Person and the Indiana Pacers, and he's letting it all hang out today.
I'm talking about today's player. When you look at Larry in that game, and Bob Hill says he's coming back and be ready for him, would today's player comeback in a game like that. Now with load management, where agents and managers are saying you got to take care of your body and your product. And it's true. You know, I mean, your body is your livelihood.
They're going to say that.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Jordan playing with 104-degree temperature.
Yeah.
A courageous, classic performance by the flu-ridden Michael Jordan.
I have to see that. I definitely have to see that. I know this is a big legendary thing with MJ as well. I have to check that out.
Larry, we just talked about that game, you know, with
Isaiah Thomas against the Lakers in 88, 25-point period on a bad leg.
He's got to be hurting and limping. Thomas goes up, and Isaiah Thomas having an incredible period.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm being unfair, but that just isn't there anymore.
Boston 110, Indiana 96. 4 minutes gone by in the fourth. Bird again ends up on the floor, and he was pushed by Person.
Person stepping up with the blind screen right in the area that Larry Bird doesn't need in the middle of the back.
Bird.
Answers back with the free throw. Mid-shot.
I think 4 or 5 years you'll think back about what he did, or you'll just, you know, you'll go that. I think it's one of those things that as the years go by, it'll become bigger and bigger and bigger.
And it is all over. The Boston Celtics, in a terrific series, have defeated the Indiana Pacers. They won it in 5 to advance to the second round.
No, I really have a lot of respect for Larry Bird, but the way he played today, you know, it's just like the stuff you tell your kids about. And I told him at the end of the game, I've never seen anything like that.
Truly amazing, and you know, it's courageous and all those other things. And he's the leader. He is the leader of the Celtics, and he will be until he retires.
I've known Chuck for a while, and we've always had run-ins, but it always seems like I get the last word.
Because after that 1992 season, after so many years of giving his blood, sweat, and tears to the game of basketball, Larry Bird's body had completely betrayed him, and no one knew it yet, but he had played his last game in the NBA.
Had back problems. It just gets to the point where you just couldn't play. I mean, you couldn't think, couldn't move, couldn't run. You know, if you can't feel your feet, it's hard to run.
But just before he was about to announce his retirement, a longtime rival asked him to lace up his sneakers one last time. But this time, it would be on the same team in what many people have called the greatest team ever assembled, the 1992 Dream Team.
Now, by the way, I want to let you guys know I have that on both Patreon and the free version. I decided to, with you guys' feedback, you know, I was hesitant on releasing it in certain aspects just based off of business and also creativity wise. So I had a lot of conflict, but I found a good medium. So I did update it. If you want to check out that'll be somewhere you can check it out. It's the free version. And also I have the extended version and the full version without it being heavily edited based off of copyright content. You can check it out on the Patreon or YouTube membership, but just keep going.
Larry was on the fence because of his back, so I said, man, LB, you gotta play, man. You gotta play. This is our last chance to be together. He said, Magic, my back is hurting. I said, Larry, you don't have to play 30 minutes a game. You can just play 10 minutes a game. He said, all right, I'll play. I said, all I want to do is come down and do a no-look pass to you, and you shoot a three-pointer. We both gonna be very happy.
My Magic that time, making the defensive rotation, forcing him to put it on the floor.
No.
I say this is just a small step to what our goal really is, to get to Barcelona, win the gold medal, and bring it back where it's supposed to be. Thank you.
What may well be the best basketball team ever assembled. And here they are, moments away from their international debut. In the white uniform, Magic Johnson controls the tip.
They're the
Here's
best.
Larry Bird banking in.
They're the best.
Goes to the fadeaway.
They are the best.
A come-from-behind effort against Canada. Bird for three. Larry Bird hitting his second from downtown. He has 10 points. In the second half, Bird is one.
Let it up. Load it up.
And even on the brink of retirement, Larry Bird still had a little something left in the tank.
The crowd start cheering. Larry, Larry, Larry.
Reacts to the entrance of Larry Bird, a standing ovation.
Get open look in transition.
Magic with the pass that misfired. Jordan with the behind the back.
Here's Bird.
Yes.
And you just knew that Larry Bird was not going to miss that shot after the great save by Michael Jordan.
Correct.
Send a message around the world today that y'all can give it up. You foreigners can give it up.
The final score, the United States 136 and Cuba 57.
And in the gold medal game, the Dream Team beat Croatia, and there was no doubt anywhere in the world who was the greatest team ever assembled.
They won their games by an average margin of 40-plus points. A conclusion to their 2 weeks in Barcelona. This group may well be the greatest team ever assembled in the history of team sports.
This was one of the best, greatest ever Dream Team that was ever assembled. Watching the document, learned so much about these players, their chemistry together, what it means outside the rivalry, and how the rivalry turned into brotherhood, into developing the relationships that they had together doing this journey, and memories and conversations they're gonna have forever when they talk to each other. So yeah.
However, as our old legends age out of the game, there will always be some newcomers to come challenge the throne. And in 1992, that newcomer was Rodney Rogers.
And the shot comes up.
Oh my goodness! Rodney Rogers! That may be the best I've seen all season.
You brought up Rodney Rogers, and when I was asked about Zion, I said, for some reason, I see a little bit of Rodney Rogers in Zion Williamson. They were big, athletic guys who were mobile. Do you see Rodney Rogers?
Wait. What is? I'm gonna fast forward. I can't.
In Zion?
I do see Rodney Rogers. It makes so much sense now that you said it like that. But Rodney Rogers could shoot better. I'd never seen a guy like that strong. I mean, I knew what Country Strong was after I played against him and Corliss Williamson, those guys like that, maybe never lifted a weight but could push a car out the way if they needed to. And so with him, I definitely think Rodney Rogers would be a great comparison for that.
And when Rodney Rogers was selected as one of the 8 best college players in 1992 to go scrimmage against the Dream Team, Larry Bird gave Rodney Rogers his welcome to the league moment.
Okay, so that makes sense. I'm glad I didn't skip it. It all made sense. Okay, that makes sense. Rodney Rogers was one of the new up and coming, feeling good, saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? You old head, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to, beat you type thing. He was on that young buck energy. And this is where he shut that down. So, okay, let's go.
You missed Bird by a couple of years, I think, didn't you?
I missed him by 1 year, but I got to play against him in the Dream Team and to be able to practice with him, see how he worked out, see how he shot, see the junk that he talked constantly. The best was my man Rodney Rogers, strong, fast, quick, athletic, and Bird just set him up in a corner. Someone drives to the corner, Stockton passed out to Bird, and here you see Rodney Rogers take a full sprint. And I'm talking about, how Zion blocked that shot a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
That's where, where Rodney Rogers came from. Except, unlike the young kid that shot the shot, in the middle of him being in the midair, Bird says, "Welcome to the parachute club, rookie," and watches him go by him, shoots the ball, and kept walking down, shaking his head like, these dumb youngsters, they don't never get it.
And according to some of the guys that played, Larry Bird and the Dream Team basically beat these college youngsters by 100 points. But why was Larry Bird so hell-bent on embarrassing the young Rodney Rogers? Because one day earlier, Rodney Rogers said something that pissed Larry Bird off. And the friendly scrimmage turned into a serious lesson in respecting your elders.
When we played against him in the Dream Team, that whole situation was amazing.
It was 8 of us. It was myself, Bobby Hurley, Allen Houston, Chris Webber, Rodney Rogers, Eric Montrose.
Shout out
Penny
Rodney
Hardaway.
Rogers, man. Shout out to OG.
Yeah. And Grant Hill was on that squad.
And I kept calling us the crash test dummies. And they want us to come sit in the car and run up against the wall and see how hard it hurts to play against these guys.
So we get to La Jolla, San Diego, and we check into the Marriott, and we're walking in the corridor, and we see this tall white guy coming down the hall. And I'm like, damn, that looked like Larry Bird. So Larry Bird coming down the hallway, me and Chris Webber, and Larry Bird, you don't realize how big Larry Bird is until you stand up close to Larry Bird. Larry Bird legit 6'10". So he walked by us and he says, y'all those college guys? And we was like, yeah, we the college guys. And he looked at us and he said, get some fucking rest. It's gonna be a long week, and walked off. And we was like, what the hell?
And we get back to the hotel, and I remember Bird getting out the elevators like, see y'all tomorrow, young fellas. See y'all tomorrow. And it wasn't like a looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. It was like, no, it was like a see y'all tomorrow. Right?
Oh, snap.
I remember getting off the plane and I see a sign. It says Mr. Bird and Mr. Webber.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no way. And so I get in the car and it's Larry fucking Bird. And I shake his hand. I'm quiet, you know. And when we get out, he doesn't say much. But when we get out, he goes, hope you get your sleep tonight because I'm going to bust your ass tomorrow.
Yes.
And I didn't know what to say, but I knew this is a moment you have to say something. And I was like, you know, Larry, your back is already hurting, man. You need to take it easy. And then I run to the room and I call my father. I'm like, Dad, Larry Bird was just talking shit to me.
So the next morning, we get up and we go to practice, and the dream team is practicing. They're finishing up their practice. And then they say, all right, get loose and stretch out. We're like, okay, we playing? They're like, yeah, we're going to play next. It's the starting five, I think, is myself, Chris Webber, Rodney Rogers, Bobby Hurley, and Allen Houston.
Mm-hmm. So we're practicing. We start finding the rhythm. Penny's pinning people's on the glass. You know, C. Webb's doing his thing. And I hit a couple threes. And next thing you know, like the clock stops. And we look up and like, we up.
Yeah. Right.
We're up.
Like the first 15 minutes, we kicking their ass. we running them all out. Bobby Hurley in the lane, killing John Stockton.
I did have some success penetrating and collapsing the defense, and our energy, our excitement to play, all those things played in our favor.
Right.
You know,
before they started, this is the first scrimmage that they had. And they won against the Legends. They won. Mostly because the coach that was coaching the Legends let them scrimmage, right? But he took out a piece of the offense, and also he already knew what he was doing to make them lose, to allow them to lose so they can learn a valuable lesson out of it. But we're not going to discredit still these guys, the youngins that they came in there to scrimmage. They did their thing, right? You know what I'm saying? They still made the score. They still got the points, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day.
What we were doing that day, they couldn't stop it. It felt tremendous.
I don't know if there was ever a more pure or better basketball day for myself or for any of those guys, because we were in a dream playing against our heroes, and we did beat them that first practice.
And then something happened. We're sitting there, and we get back to the hotel. Rodney Rogers says something to, it's a group of them. It's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and everybody's shooting the shit. And Rodney Rogers said, hey, Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since 84. And we ain't think nothing of it. The next day we came in, that's when the thing came out that Chuck Daly let us win.
There are kids who believe in Santa Claus too, and the Easter Bunny, and now that they've grown up, I hate to burst their bubble, but it was a game throwing. Chuck threw the game. If you look how he subbed guys in, not picking up, not making any adjustments, he knew what he was doing.
I love Coach K. That's come on, man. That's BS. They had Chris Mullin, a better shooter than anyone that we had. We really beat him that day. But the next day, it's been the only time in my life I've been in a scrimmage and my team did not score in the whole quarter.
Man, the next day,
That's crazy.
The next day it was different.
They went extra hard
It
like
was
that?
different that day. Yeah, you could tell that, you know, they were like, "Come on now, we're gonna let y'all know who we really are."
Now I want to say this: I do like and appreciate the clips because it's like we've heard a documentary. If you watched it with me, the Olympic documentary, and also like we heard from some legends about the story, but to hear from this perspective at that time from the Young Bucks, it's actually really great because it adds more to the story of the experience of what we hear in different sides and like and it all adds up to the same thing, of what the documentary was showcasing. So what it does is it add more to the story and it just makes the story even better.
We showed them why we are who we are. We pretty much beat them by 100.
They couldn't score.
They were smacking the floor, talking shit to us like it was a championship game.
God.
Magic Johnson fed Larry Bird the ball probably about 8 times in a row down court. Larry Bird got the ball on Rodney Rogers, and every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do. One dribble, pull up, going left, off glass. One dribble, going right, spin, shot, bucket. He scored 9 times or 8 times in a row, left the court to go lay down because he couldn't sit on a bench.
Right,
he had to
I
lay
remember
down
that. His
because
back
of his
was
back.
messed up.
Dang.
And said, "Young fella, look like 84, huh?"
Last time he made it.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow. I said, so that's they kicked our ass for the rest of the week. And
It said the rest of the week, guys. They ain't play with you.
Nah, they ain't play with us the rest of the week. And this one I was like, this is a different breed.
Larry Bird retired after that season, and though many players have been compared to Larry Bird since he retired, nobody has been able to capture the one-of-a-kind magic that created the nickname Larry Legend.
I would like to play a little bit longer, maybe a year or 2 more, but there's just no way possible I was going to be able to do that. So today I'm retiring, and I knew this day was going to come sometime, and I sort of prepared myself, but once you sign the papers and say you're retired, or once you get up here in front of these people, it's a little bit different.
Man.
The Larry Bird retirement ceremony, they had it on a night when there was no game. That's how special, that's how popular, that's how great Larry Bird is. They filled the Boston Garden, and you couldn't get a ticket. Magic comes out, and it was just great, and he had the Celtic t-shirt on underneath, and the speech that Magic gave.
Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
Oh, man.
To have all the fans come back to pay tribute and to say thank you. There was nothing like that on earth.
Tonight, my basketball career is officially over, and I had a blast. So tonight I leave. I leave basketball forever. I leave a game that I loved. Sorry, but I'm gone. I'm history. I dedicated my life to basketball, and I dedicated my life to the Boston Celtics. So,
wow.
I say good night, Boston, and may God bless each and every one of you. Good night.
I mean, the man did so much in his time being in the NBA and before and in college and high school. I mean, he gave it all he got, every little bit. And he could have done an extra year or so, but how much damage would that done to his body to where he wouldn't be able to raise his kids and play with them later on down the line. I think that he was a very smart man, and he understood, like, hey, I did everything I possibly did, and checking out the last box, definitely playing with the bros at the Olympics team. I mean, phenomenal, man. Excellent video. If you guys enjoyed, man, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And thank you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.